How many of you know somebody with a mental illness? It's nothing to be ashamed of. For those of you that said no, today I'm going to raise awareness about a mental illness you may not even realize is a mental illness. According to Vanessa Karras, a reporter with the World News and World Report, noted that approximately 30 million people in America suffer from an eating disorder each year. It breaks down to about 20 million women and 10 million men. Today I'm here to bring awareness about eating disorders in women and explain the cause and effect in specifically athletes, adults, and teens. Adult women have been on this earth and have experienced a lot of pain and suffering and are easy targets for eating disorders. They can develop eating disorders based off a number of factors. In some cases, women have an eating disorder that they developed as a teen and it simply has not gone away. According to Karras, a person that might have strict rules about when to eat and what to eat are considered abnormal that may have never gone away. However, it is not always the case. Women can feel self-conscious about themselves and develop an eating disorder as they get older. Researcher Cynthia M. Bullock, who has a PhD and is the director of the University of North Carolina Eating Disorders Program, completed a study that said women over the age of 50 feel they often have to keep their body looking 20 years younger than it actually is. Bullock also believes that a spouse can be responsible for an eating disorder, not feeling good enough, or if you're in a new relationship, feeling your body must be up to a societal standard that it physically cannot. These are all, but not limited to, reasons why women can have eating disorders. But let's touch on how they affect older women. Bullock says that simply older bodies are not as resilient, meaning they can't bounce back as fast. She also mentions that signs of an eating disorder can be mistaken for other signs that are supposed to happen later in life. An example of this would be menopause. Missing a period can be a sign of menopause, but it also can be a sign that your body's not receiving its proper nutrition. Now let's focus on a different age group that most of us listening here today have experienced. Being a teenager, it's not the easiest thing. You experience things for the first times, and these years have a big impact on your future. The biggest reason I feel a teen would have an eating disorder is from peer pressure from school and school peers. I'm sure we've all seen it firsthand. Somebody else looks good in something, and you're so excited to try it on, and you don't look like that. From then on, you're constantly fighting your body to achieve something you're not. Let's look at peer pressure in a different light. Peer pressure from family. I'm sure we've all seen a TV show or a movie where a mom wants her daughter to look just like her, and so they are restricting their habits and putting a diet on them. However, overall, I think there's a push from society to look a certain way. An example of that might be teens see advertisements from their favorite clothing stores, and the models don't look like them. Now, this is slowly beginning to change, but whether we like it or not, it will always be there. These can strongly affect teens in many different aspects of their lives. These can cause other disorders that can affect them later on in life. Bullock says that adolescents who misjudge their weight are significantly more likely to engage in unhealthy dietary habits. Overall, teens are in a very crucial developmental stage of their life, and developing an eating disorder could have a very negative effect on not only them in the present, but their future. Now let's single down to something that might not pertain to everyone here today, but for some reason, for some women, this is the root of their problem. Female athletes are like no other. They are a different breed. They push their bodies to do things that women's bodies are not naturally meant for. Bullock says there's a lot of pressure on female athletes for performance, and there's an emphasis on sports performance based to body size and shape. Bullock says that female athletes feel they may have to look a certain way based upon their sport. Overall, female athletes are criticized for their build until they aren't cut out to play their sport just because of the way their bodies are naturally shaped. This can have a negative effect on a female athlete's mental state and how they perform. Bullock says that more than 1/3 of Division I National Collegiate Athletic Association females were found in a study to have attitudes and symptoms that place them at high risk for anorexia, which is a common eating disorder among women. Their performance is greatly impacted by a player's mental state. If a player is in a positive headspace, then their performance will reflect that. Not only are body shapes and body size important to an athlete and how they play, but it's also so important to their mental state. Today we talked about something I'm sure not all people can relate to or have seen. Eating disorders are amongst a wide variety of people and are only limited to women, and it is something awareness should be brought to. These will greatly affect our future. Whether you're an adult, a teen, or an athlete, you can get help. You are not alone, and there are other people that feel this way.